You know the thing that Mark Rober did, where he put out fake wallets with some money and see if people return them or not?
Yeah.
What I should do is I should put a card in it that just says, please subscribe to Boy Review, and just put it in wallets and see if we can get some subscribers. Just put them around the places that I live.
So you're not a thief, but you're someone with flexible morals, and you find a wallet and you're like, ooh, nice, free wallet, and you pick it up and you take it home and you're like, nice. Take all the cash out of it. We've put like 100 quid in each of them just to make it believable. Actually, no one carries cash these days. Anyway, and they take out this card.
Maybe £5 to make it believable.
Yeah, subscribe to Boy Review, and they're like, you know what? I think I will. It's only fair. I'm not going to give them the wallet back, but just to be fair, I will follow their silly little podcast.
And in my book, that's a win.
That's a win.
Because Wilkie, I might have lost somewhere between £5 and £100, but I have gained a subscriber, and that is like a friend for life.
You know what they say? They say, you got a friend in me.
That's right, Wilkie.
Ba-ba-ba-da-da. You got a friend in me.
Da-ba-ba-da-ba.
You just remember what you hope about. I'm not dying. Get out of here.
What is up, everybody? No, wait. No, what's the opening for this show?
You say welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay, welcome back, everybody, to another show.
Keep it in or you're a coward.
Okay, round three. Don't you start. Right, okay. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of a little show we like to do here at the weekends, or as you call it, Boy Review. Wait.
No, it's Wednesday, my guy. Hamish, listeners, Hamish isn't on it today. Hamish has come down with some terrible disease. Welcome back to a little show we like to do here on the weekends, or as you call them, Wednesdays. It is, of course, Boy Review, with me, Wilkie.
And me, Hamish.
Oh, come
God
on.
Damn it, Wilkie.
No impression. It's also
no impression.
I'm real Wilkie this week as well. No impression this week.
Because do you want me to do an impression? And me, Elmo. Hello. I'm Elmo.
Elmo's world. Elmo craves blood.
No, because this week, just on Warthog, I started doing the Boy Review intro, and I was going to say, it's like, I wonder if I'm going to do the Warthog intro this week, and then I just did. In my mind went, okay, let's do that one. I forgot what to say. What is life, Wilkie? What's going on?
That's a very deep question, Hamish, for us to be handling in episode, what are we, 17 now, 16?
17, because last week was an even number, and I stole going first.
You did, yes. You stole going first from me last week. That's fine. Do
you want to go first? You have it this week.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Hamilton, a Disney original movie. That was a good title, by the way, Hamish.
Yeah. So you can go first this week, and then we'll be back to you going first next week. So you'll get this week and next week as going first, just to try and reset it.
Brilliant. So
Wilkie, what are you going to talk about?
This week, I'd like to talk about something that I like a lot. I'm going. This feels to me like a very Radio Days Boy Review topic. Like, this is the sort of thing I talk about back when we did this live on the radio. I've done a bit of research. I don't know if this stayed in the intro. I'm trying to research my topics more so I don't just ramble. I'd like to talk about Lao Gan Ma. Lao Gan Ma is a Chinese chili sauce.
Question.
Hamish, you put your hand up.
before you get too deep into it, how do you spell that? Because I'm going to have to spell it later when I describe it in the episode description.
It's 3 words. Lao space Gan space Ma. Lao Gan Ma. And we're going to get to what Lao Gan Ma means later. Now, I watched a couple of videos about Lao Gan Ma to pick up some history, because the Wikipedia page is very short, and it's contains a fairly basic listing of like, this is the company, and this is the product, and this is like how much of it they sell. And then the majority of the website, the majority of the Wikipedia page it's all to do with like legal issues and like problems. And so that there was a batch of Lao Gan Ma didn't include the warning on the label that it contained peanuts, and so people with peanut allergies had a reaction to it, and it got recalled.
That's not great.
Yeah, not great, of course. There were counterfeit products similar to Lao Gan Ma that reached other companies, and there were over 50 counterfeit Lao Gan Ma products. They had to sort of have a lengthy lawsuit over trademark applications. And then also there was a recipe dispute, which we're going to talk about later. But I watched a couple of videos, and the first thing I saw in one of these videos was John Cena, right? First, it's weird I could see him at all, but he was there and he was eating Lao Gan Ma, and he held up the jar. He was like, Lao Gan Ma.
That was a good bit.
It was just him going, Lao Gan Ma, pointing at the bottle. Lao Gan Ma is... this is going to contain some Chinese words, and I may butcher them, but I've tried to write them out in a way
this is going to contain spoilers. And I thought, what?
This is going to contain spoilers for season 1 of Chili Sauce. I haven't watched season 2 though, so don't spoil it for me. So Lao Gan Ma comes from a region in China called Guizhou. 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 And there's a saying in China that is apparently very old-fashioned and makes you sound like a bit of a weirdo. But there used to be a saying that I can't actually remember. I should have written it down. These other 2 regions, like these people, they like their spice. These people, they're not afraid of a good chili. But people in Guizhou, they're afraid of food that isn't spicy enough. Guizhou is, as far as I can tell, the further you go into inland China, the more spicy people tend to like their food. Guizhou's in there, and people love their food very spicy. Lao Gan Ma falls into a category of chili products called Yolajiao. Another 3 words. Y-O, new word, L-A, new word, J-I-A-O, I think. Yolajiao. And as much as it's a product that we buy, like in jars, this is most likely something that a family in Guizhou would make for themselves. If sort of...
Okay.
I was trying to gauge like what vibes that would be. Is that the same as like, oh, we bake our own bread? Like, is that the level of like, oh, we make our own yolajiao? I couldn't quite tell, but it's the sort of thing you definitely could make at home, which is... Is it
like making your own bread or making your own sourdough bread? Like you go the extra mile.
Maybe it felt like quite an easy thing. It's just like it. Maybe on the level of making your own salad dressing. Like if you take the time to mix up like mustard and oil and vinegar and stuff. Maybe that's the same vibes. But yes, there's different types of this lajiao. Lajiao, I think, must mean chili. So there's yolajiao, which is chili crisp. We'd call it chili crisp, and that's the one that comes with oil, and that's what Lao Gan Ma is. There's tubalajiao, which is pounded chili, which is used for braising and stir fries, and there's hulajiao, which is roasted chili flakes to which you add oil to get yolajiao, the chili crisp. You can add lots of things to this chili crisp, this chili flakes and oil. You can add docha, which are fermented black beans. They're my favourite. I get the Lao Gan Ma with black beans. Peanuts, turnip, tofu, kohlrabi, lots of stuff with them, but the classic is just chili, roasted chili flakes and oil. The origin story of... are you with me so far, Hamish? Is this all making sense?
I'm with you so far. I'm excited. I wanted to get into Lao Gan Ma Origins, which is the first in the Lao Gan Ma trilogy of films.
Lao Gan Ma Origins actually came out second, but it explains a lot of the sort of... there was a lot of stuff they didn't bother to explain. Lao Gan Ma 1, they just call it Lao Gan Ma. There was a lot of unexplained backstory.
Yeah, and while often in films it's good to sort of start in media res, there's a lot of faff you don't need to get over. Lao Gan took that a little bit too much to the extreme. There was a lot where you come at the end of it and you go, I am very confused. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
How the little bits of chili get so flat. Where'd the oil come from?
Yeah, because also for a lot of the first film, they refer to Lao Gan as just Gan Ma. The Lao gets dropped frequently, and they explain in Lao Gan why some people don't use the whole full title.
Anyway, yes, Lao Gan origins. The story that I heard, this may be slightly apocryphal, as many stories often turn out to be. In 1996, a woman named Tao Huabi, she had a Liang Fen stand outside the capital of the Guizhou province. Liang Fen, as far as I can tell, is a rice starch noodle soup. These like big flat rolls of like pounded rice, turned into like these sort of pasta style things. And much like a lot of sort of things like ramen bowls, you would add different toppings based on what you liked. And one of these things that she made her own yola jiao, her own chili crisp sauce, that would go on top of this Liang Fen. And this sauce was so good that it made her stall really popular. People would come there to get Liang Fen with yola jiao on top. One day, she was feeling kind of lazy and didn't bother to make a new batch of the yola jiao for the day. She was like, I'll just go without for today. But when people came to the stall and she said, I'm sorry, I don't have any yola jiao today, they didn't want any. And she realised that she realised that the yola jiao was actually far more popular than the Liang Fen itself. So she pivoted and started making that sauce, the yola jiao chili crisp sauce, full time.
Okay, so out of tragedy came a business opportunity, as they so often do.
She realised that she'd been in the wrong business.
Yeah, you thought you were in the something game. There's so many words, Wilkie, that I've already got. You thought you were in the ramen game, but you were in fact in the Lao Ma Jiao game. I can't fuck. Lao Gan Ma. Oh, what's the words?
Yola jiao. Yola jiao.
Yola jiao.
It's okay, Hamish.
My brain has just gone blah.
That's okay. Okay, I'll start using more English words. I just wanted to prove that I'd looked up the Chinese words. So
no, Wookie, use the right words. It's just it's not you, it's me.
Hambo's having a tired day. That's okay.
I'm just gonna lie here in my chair like this.
Here's an English word we can use. Lao Gan Ma. You wanted to know what Lao Gan Ma means. Lao Gan Ma means old godmother, and I think the reason that this was sort of a thing is because families in Guizhou, like I said, families would make their own yola jiao chili crisp sauce, and when they were outside Guizhou, when they were travelling, they might not be able to bring their own, and so there is this sort of kindly, maternal, familial figure at the head of this company. I think Tao Huabi, the woman who owned the stall, was sort of getting a bit older by the time that the business actually took off, and so that's why it was old godmother, not just like Tao Huabi's famous chili sauce or something. There's Lao Gan Ma is far more popular in the West compared to like a lot of other chili crisp brands, and there's a lot of speculation as to why it was one of the first. They got a little early movers advantage there, but one of the videos I watched from a YouTube channel called Chinese Cooking Demystified, a very good channel. The guy was like, let's be honest, Occam's razor, simplest option. It's good sauce. The sauce is good, and that's why it does well. It's spicy enough for people who like Guizhou food. Remember, people from Guizhou often like their food very spicy, so it's spicy enough for them. But it's not prohibitively spicy for everyone else. It's a nice middle ground. I love it. One of the serving suggestions for Lao Gan Ma is just mix it in with some hot sticky rice. Just mix it in, and when I get the one with the douchu, the fermented black beans, they're like these little black nuggets of sort of salty umami goodness, and it's really good. You must have had some Lao Gan Ma before, Hamish, because I use it.
I don't feel like I did actually. I don't know if I did, because
I use it in my fried rice. Did I never make fried rice for you when we lived together?
I don't think so. I think I think I was off because I was very busy when we lived together. I had lots going on, particularly those first 2 terms. I was very much looking forward to a third term of getting to hang out with everybody because my timetable was going to be a lot more quiet. And then well, we know how that turned out. But I don't think I actually got too many. I don't think I ate too much of food. I definitely ate some bits, but I don't think you ever made me rice.
You probably had my chili.
Yeah, I had your chili quite a few times. Very good chili.
Big bowls of chili, massive old pot. I missed cooking for lots of people because I cook for my flatmates in Leamington, right? But there's only 3 of us in the house, so I just have to sort of accidentally make a bit too much, and then there's enough for 3 people.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can have a big party when COVID's over.
Yeah, have a vaccine party. Everyone gets vaccinated. On the Wikipedia page, there is a section about a recipe dispute. This is honestly is like the.
Yeah, I saw this. I've been reading on Wikipedia for a bit.
Lao Gan is so undramatic, right? This is like the only drama I can really find. That and the peanuts thing. In 2015, Tao Huabi's son, whose name Li Guishan, swapped to a cheaper type of chili called the Hunan chili from a different province in China, as opposed to classic Guizhou chilies, which were larger and more aromatic. Immediately, sales started to decline. People were like, it's not as good. And then in 2019, Tao Huabi came back in and was like, look, right, I invented this. You make it with Guizhou chilies. And they started making it with Guizhou chilies again. And that's pretty much like the only like event I can, look, it's good chili sauce, right? And I can get it in Leamington.
They cracked it back in, when they apparently invented it in 1996. They invented it, they cracked it, and someone went, I think I can do better. They reinvented the wheel, Wilkie, and this shows why you don't do that.
The
wheel is circular. The wheel is circular, it does fine. You could try a different shape. Go ahead, but it won't be as good.
Absolutely not. I've found a place in Leamington where I can get Lao Gan Ma, and it's not as, because you can get it at the grocery store on campus, but it's really expensive because everything's marked up there. But I can get it at this shop in Leamington, and it's like reasonably priced. And I can get my want crackers. They're these things called want. They're these like crispy rice crackers.
Aren't those like a thing in Star Wars? Like the big scary buffalo things.
The wamp? No, the what?
I'm making a joke. It just
bantha.
What you're saying. You just whatever you were saying sounded like a Star Wars critter, and you can't tell me otherwise.
No, you're describing banthas, but you've got mixed up between wampers and the tauntauns.
Yeah, I have.
Because the wamper is the Yeti essentially. The wamper is the Yeti from number 5, and then the tauntauns are the things they ride. But you're also thinking of the bantha as the big buffalo thing.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the funniest Star Wars fanfare I've ever heard is that Watto is secretly a Pokemon, and that his evolved form is a bantha. And this guy can't be convinced otherwise. So it's Watto's evolved form?
Why?
I don't know.
So every bantha on Tatooine has evolved from a Watto? Is there any evidence to back up this claim?
Nope. That's
Brilliant.
why I like it.
Wonderful. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Lao Gan Ma. It's as it were, spices up any rice dish, and I would encourage anyone to go safely. Go to like a local, probably unlikely to be a specifically Chinese food shop, but if you've got a Asian supermarket somewhere near you, see if you can go find these very pretty red jars full of.
Yeah, they look very good.
Yola Jiao Chili Crisp. Lao Gan Ma. I give it a good.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the boy reviews. Chili Crisp gets a good from boy review, or specifically from Wilkie.
Yeah. Well,
now it's my turn to talk about something, because that sounds very good, Wilkie. And obviously very well thought out and very well prepared.
Can you see what I mean by that? That was a very old school boy review topic.
It was a very old school boy review topic to get a bit, classical with it. It's not a review of something we've watched or whatever. It's a review of something from our life. And I always like those. But I'm really not sure what to do today, Wilkie, because I've got 3 topics swirling around in my very sort of dazed isn't quite the right word. Fuck. But dazed isn't quite the right word.
Hamish is being a little tired and emotional right now.
Yeah.
If you've watched that Tom Scott video. I don't...
So...
Hang on, just to check, Hamish, you're not drunk, are you?
No, I'm not drunk. I can't remember the last time I drank any alcohol. It's been a busy day.
Having withdrawal.
I'm gonna in my head assign the topics to the numbers 1 through 3, and I want you to pick a number, and I'm just gonna do that topic.
Sure. I'm gonna pick topic number 1 because I think if you put it first, you must secretly want to do it the most.
No. Okay. So I'm gonna be talking about the genre of cyberpunk.
Oh, brilliant!
Because cyberpunk has been on my mind a lot recently. I've been playing some Cyberpunk 2077, and I think, I feel like that game deserves a review of its own, but I am so early in the story for it. I don't feel like I'd be doing it justice to be talking about my experience right now.
That's fair.
Because, I think I don't even know how far into the story I am, Wilkie, because it has got incredibly more confusing in the last the last half an hour that I played. But I want to talk about sort of the cyberpunk world, and specifically not just the cyberpunk world, like cyberpunk world as a whole thing. So from lots of different genres, if that makes sense, or lots of different iterations of it. Because I realized whilst playing Cyberpunk 27 that I think that cyberpunk might just be, in general, one of my favorite genres to explore. Because at least what I've played so far, I think Cyberpunk 2077 might be one of the best video games from a story and that perspective that I've played in a long while. And I'd be willing to say that right now based on what I've experienced. I find all of the side quests are so detailed, and it's the way the world is making me feel. It's giving me this it's cool. It's hard to describe because Cyberpunk isn't nice, Wilkie. We've done a Cyberpunk game together. You ran the Sprawl for us for a bit in the tavern last year. We moved to a different RPG because we decided we didn't like the Sprawl anymore.
I'm a big fan of how universally we decided we did not like the Sprawl. Like we all sat and we were like, yeah, I don't enjoy it. No? Are we having any fun? No? Yeah, screw it.
Because I think it's not a problem with the world itself, because I think the thing I like about Cyberpunk the most is it feels very real. I like fantasy and I like very sci-fi futuristic, but it feels a little bit weird. Like you watch The Mandalorian, and it's a very interesting version of it's not, obviously it's set in the past, and but it's because it's a long time ago, in a galaxy far away. But it feels like a weird version of the future because the technology looks like 70s scaled up. It's very cassette based focused.
I think the genre is called like cassette futurism, and
that's cool. And there are elements of cyberpunk that go into that, but the sort of the more modern version of cyberpunk, like 2077 tries to capture, like Blade Runner 2049 captures, are this sort of very much more what I feel like I could see this as a future. I could see a world where maybe not in 2077, but the world of Night City could exist for us. There's very hyper focus on capitalism, on advertising being how it is, on how people interact with each other, on just life as it is. And I think that for me then makes it, even though it is fictional, it makes it start to feel a little bit more real for me, and I enjoy then exploring that RPG in that real world. It's why I like modern fantasy as well. I don't quite know how to describe it. Maybe modern fantasy isn't the word, but games like Monster of the Week, where it's kind of set in modern day with elements of fantasy, because again it has those tie-ins, whereas I can see where that's going. So what are your feelings on Cyberpunk, Wilkie?
I enjoy Cyberpunk. There's a reason why There's a reason why I pitched it as one of the options for the tavern, and I definitely enjoyed running it in that RPG form. How to arrange my thoughts on a very surface level is very cool, right? I love the aesthetics, all the neon, from the research I did when I was planning the Cyberpunk RPG, Cyberpunk as a genre sort of was coming around when there was a lot of anxiety, this sort of collective anxiety in America about Japan taking over the world with their big Japanese technological surge forward, and there was this great collective anxiety in America, and so a lot of American cyberpunk contains, the world is like half English and half Japanese. You've got signs written in both languages, and as an aesthetic, obviously born out of racism. But what if you can take cyberpunk as a genre and like remove it from that, and just maintain the aesthetic, it can be quite fun. And it's definitely I'm trying to collect some sort of useful thoughts here, Hamish. You're going to have to make me sound good in the edit.
I will jump in then, because that's why I handed over to you to gather myself, because that's where I'm with you there, because I think Cyberpunk's very cool and it feels very real, it then also does butt up against some of those sort of unfortunate things in reality, that it does get very dark and very gritty and very real in the bad ways very quickly. It does have its origins in racism, but I think the where the genre has since come now, it is significantly better. It's maintained that aesthetic, but sort of lost a lot of that at those early days, at least as I feel, those early days of intolerance. But then, there are parts where I think it can butt up. I know that Cyberpunk 2077 has struggled with some of their advertising and posters, sort of people saying, maybe you're not presenting these things in the right way, or you're saying something that might be a little bit inappropriate. And I think there are definitely those concerns with the genre, because basically Cyberpunk is that most of the world is run by bad people, and you want to show off that these people are bad and not nice. But it's then trying to make a world that, then trying to present that world in a world that is more tolerant, and is for people that want to maybe be more tolerant. And so you can definitely have those headbutts, but it's just how, I don't know, it's just how Cyberpunk just goes, we're just going to go, yeah, this is kind of what reality is like, though. It's not nice, unfortunately. And we're not going to shy away from that. We're going to show, but also then we're going to focus on the people that want the world to be nice. Blade Runner 2049 to an extent does focus on people that are trying to, build up a life for these sort of machine, not humans, and sort of give them a place as being as important as humans. In a very different way, you've got Cyberpunk in Snowpiercer, which I think is awesome. Watch the film and the Netflix series. Both are equally good in different ways and very different as shows. And again, I really like how they particularly focus on people that want to, rise up out of the back end of the train, literally from the lowest rungs on the ladder upwards, and sort of say, like, maybe things should be equal. And I think that there's that enjoyment in it, is you always get to focus on the people that think the world should be good and have these ideals, and you can then fight against the machine, the corporate machine and the literal machine. And I think that's why the genre always feels so good to me, because it gives you the opportunity to do that. But then also it gets very grey, because a lot of these people in Cyberpunk 2077 and in the Sprawl, folks, you are part of a squad. You perform a crime, but like Robin Hood style, you're stealing from the rich to try and at least maybe give to the poor, or better other people, so that the rich sort of come down a peg, and are more manageable.
Something that came to me while you were saying that, I think to compare something to sci-fi, like we're mostly comparing it to Star Wars and to a similar extent Star Trek. Star Wars is a story fundamentally, I think, about a capitalist dystopia. Right, Star Wars is a universe where everything runs on credits, and the heroes are. This could be a whole other discussion, but in a lot of it's especially after watching the Clone Wars and that sort of thing, the heroes never win in Star Wars. The Jedi Order, clouded by the presence of the dark side, are unable to detect, that Palpatine is a Sith Lord. It's upsetting to watch that, but Star Wars is to some degree a dystopia. Star Trek, on the other hand, at its core, is about a communist utopia, a world where there is no hunger, where there is no poverty.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, I think, falls into the genre of speculative. Cyberpunk isn't saying, what if there was a world that was like this? Star Trek, to a certain degree, is saying we could achieve this, but we could achieve this if we fundamentally change ourselves. Cyberpunk is saying this is what we might end up like if we continue. A lot of Cyberpunk features, smog is something that there's a lot of in Cyberpunk. That whenever I would describe a place, I would describe the smog-filled streets, right? Global warming. There's no plants anymore. There's just buildings. There's over-urbanization.
In 2077, the outside world of Night City, so Night City's the main location, the outside is called the Badlands because it's all sticky shrubs and all of that stuff. There's no real grass, there's no real leaves on the trees, any of that. So yeah, it's very smoggy, as you were saying.
And so I think what you were saying, Cyberpunk is a genre that appeals, first of all, because it has these very cool aesthetics with the way that it often includes themes of the integration of technology with the body and the Matrix, the idea of this world of the internet that you can step into and experience. Hamish, your character was a hacker, so you got to go into we called it Yggdrasil, which was very cool.
Yes, and hacking is one of my favourite parts in Cyberpunk at the moment, in the game. It's very difficult to talk about Cyberpunk the genre and Cyberpunk the game, but hopefully I'm making the distinction clear. But yeah, hacking is still just such a fun component, and it makes you feel very powerful very instantly. Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that you've already touched on, it's it takes themes from the real world and dials them up to 11, right? You've got corporations and people who work long hours for little pay, and turns those up to ridiculousness, and then you get to play people trying to change the world, which is always fun. You get to play or you get to watch a story about. I don't think a Cyberpunk story about the CEO of a mega corporation would be very interesting, because that person is a bad guy. We look at that person, we see them as the villain.
Because they're always trying to just better themselves, and I think we're often taught that the villains are the people that try and better themselves in all of these things. Go back to Star Wars, Palpatine was all out for himself.
I think Cyberpunk the video game is going to be good, because it's bringing Cyberpunk as a genre back into the public eye. I don't think people necessarily clocked that Blade Runner 2049 was Cyberpunk. I think to a lot of people it just felt like sci-fi.
Yes.
But hopefully,
I can definitely understand that.
Hopefully, if the game does well, I can foresee a number of reasons why the game might not do well. It's been difficult at release for certain people.
I can attest that. I've been writing a lot about how difficult it's been for some people. Thankfully, I am not one of those people. I've had a couple of small minor glitches, but nothing too major and very, very infrequent. I've played a lot of hours now, and I've been fairly lucky in that regard. But I know what you're talking about. But back to sort of Cyberpunk, the genre. It does have all of these elements that all, I think, combine into something that I just adore. And it's hard to sort of talk about it again, because it's how it makes me feel inside, and it can be difficult to describe emotions. But there's so many occasions where I've just been sat in Cyberpunk 2077 and go, yeah, this feels very cool. This feels very real. This feels like I'm actually in this moment. It's very believable to me, even though I know it's fake and it's all fictional. It's like, okay, I know what this world is like, and just from a few instances of how you see the world presented to you, you can go, yeah, this feels like everything's just been dialed up to 11 from what I can currently experience, and therefore it's easier for me to sort of tap in. Whereas, say, in fantasy, it can be a little bit difficult, because I've not really ever ridden a horse. I don't. I don't know what it's like to swing a sword around. I don't know, all these relationships between all these groups of people. It can feel a little bit more alien, because in a way it is a little bit alien.
But it's only a little bit alien, right? So to us, like I was saying, Star Wars and Star Trek, they feel fundamentally different, right? Maybe there's still humans, but everything is very different. Cyberpunk, there's this eerie sense that we're getting closer to that.
Yes.
Right.
But the uncanny valley of reality.
The genre uncanny valley.
So I think that's where I want to leave the conversation. This has been a bit more esoteric, but we did a classic boy review one, and I want to talk about my feelings on Cyberpunk. And so I will give a review of the game at some point. I don't know when, Wilkie. Probably in a few weeks, because there is so much more to explore.
Boy review, Warthog crossover, Wart review. Boy Hog. No, we're not. No, we're not calling it Boy Hog. We're calling it Wart review.
Wart review.
We'll get Ollie on the show.
That would be really cool. Maybe we'll play a bit of Cyberpunk on stream, but we'll have to be very careful because we'll have to be very careful with music and other aspects of the game, which probably wouldn't play well on a live stream platform.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Cyberpunk a bad good. I think there's a lot of love for that genre for me. I think that it's one that I do enjoy exploring. So many of my favorite films and video games are set in this genre, but I think also, you're right, it does have some of these bad elements, and I think that it's one where it has to be very careful when it toes the line on making organizations in the world bad and evil, but itself not becoming a genre associated with evil. It needs to make sure that it stays on sort of the side of being good, and sometimes people can falter on that. But yeah, that's what I'm going to leave it. A bad good for Cyberpunk. This is Cyberpunk, the genre. And now finally, Wilkie, we've got our joint top of the week, and you had a very good idea for this one this week. So why don't you break it down for everyone listening at home?
Brilliant. So, as you know, we record these episodes before they're released. They're released at the weekend, or as you call them, Wednesdays. But we're recording this on a Monday evening, and as of this morning, actually, our first of our 12 Days of Christmas Instagram posts has gone up. When you're listening to this on Wednesday, there'll be 3 of them posted. Days 1, 2, and 3, obviously. Today was Advent calendars, because this is sort of a half Advent calendar, half 12 Days of Christmas thing. But
we had theorized doing an Advent calendar, but I think
too many days.
I was a quick shove down. It's like 25, Wilkie. That's going to be a lot. We're going to have to do this every year. We're going to have to come up, in 4 years' time, we're going to have to come up with 100 unique topics, and that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Specifically related to Christmas.
We did 12 this time, and today we're going to be talking about the song 12 Days of Christmas, because it's very interesting. Actually, there's a couple of sort of funny bits about it. Hamish, when do you think you first encountered the 12 Days of Christmas (song?
I probably first encountered it when I was younger. When I was a kid. Definitely, probably in a TV show or a movie or something like that. I feel like I don't know when, but it would have been when I was younger, probably in some kind of media. How about you, Wilkie? When was your first encounter? I felt like this was going somewhere though. I
believe I have a tiny little book, like half the size of my phone here. This tiny little book.
That's a small book.
That contained the song in picture format, and so you'd have a little, like a partridge, and then also like the 2 calling birds, and then the 3 French hens, sort of on each page going forward. And then my primary school did a lot of singing.
Yeah, I probably did it at primary school as well.
You get taught to sing it and sort of sing it at. We'd have a little Christmas like festival / show thing, and we probably sang it at that. I don't remember that, but I remember this little book. Hamish, do you know how many gifts in total there were in the 12 Days of Christmas?
It'd be... Well, okay, so that would be 12 times 11 times... So that's going to be... Oh no, because on the day 1 you're going to get 1, then on the day 2, because you get the same thing every day.
So there are 12 partridges in total. And then for 11 of the days you're getting 2 turtle doves each. That's 22 turtle doves. And then for 10 days you get 3 chickens, 3 French hens each. That's 30 French hens. Yeah, this is apparently what's called a tetrahedral number. And because we're talking about 12 days, this is the 12th tetrahedral number. It's 364 total gifts.
That's nearly 1 for every day of the year. If anything, you're getting 1 every other day of the year, except on Christmas Day, you're getting nothing.
That's true. Now, there is a bank in America called PNC Wealth
I imagine there are lots of
Management.
banks in America, Wilkie.
Well, there's a specific one called PNC Wealth Management, right? PNC Financial Services. And something they do every year, they do the Christmas Price Index. The Economist has their Big Mac Index that tracks how much a Big Mac costs in every country, to sort of try and somehow prove a point about how the economy's going. The Christmas Price Index, produced by PNC Wealth Management, tracks how much it would cost you to buy someone all the gifts from the song The 12 Days of Christmas.
Is that all, 300 and something, or is that
Yes.
just you buy them
all 364 presents? So the pear tree comes from a pear tree nursery in Philadelphia, near where the bank is based. The partridge, turtle dove, and French hens are determined by the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. The price of a canary at Petco is used for the calling bird, though it's not actually a calling bird. That's not actually the lyric. It's a collie bird, Colly,
It's the
collie
original,
bird.
yes.
Because
There's been lots of versions of this song, Wilkie.
There have been.
I'm the only one that the one thing I found most interesting is there's only one version of the song on Wikipedia where the fifth day is not gold rings. Every other version has gold rings in all of them. Some of them they change things. I think French hens is also pretty good, but sometimes it swaps around. In one version,
I think I'm looking at the same one.
1864.
It's French hens, collie birds, and gold rings are all messed up in this one. And then they give up. What? They give up. They just say, and so on.
Yeah, well, I think it's to mean that the rest are probably the same as the ones above.
No, it isn't. Because all the ones above have them written out. This person just gave up at gold
Or
rings.
is it and so on?
So, on.
That'd be so
but
bad.
then the song stops. There are no more lyrics. This is ridiculous, Hamish.
Maybe they only went as maybe they did 5. Maybe they
Okay,
couldn't count
Hamish,
beyond 5.
what do they say instead of French hens? And then I can tell you what the Christmas Price Index is this year.
They say fat hens.
There's no need for that, right? Those hens are... You're the one fattening them up for bloody Christmas.
Yeah.
It's not their
Then
fault.
they've got ducks quacking, then hares
4
running.
ducks quacking. 5 hares running.
I also find it really funny when you have people that have obviously misunderstood partridge in a pear tree, because there's one that's partridge in a pear tree, there's one that's partridge and a pear tree, and there's one that's some part of a juniper tree.
What?
Yeah, they just got it
Some
wrong.
part of a juniper tree. I guess if you don't like
And
birds.
a part of a June apple tree.
Hamish, how much do you think 12 drummers, 22 pipers, 30 lords, 36 ladies, 40 maids, 42 swans, 42 geese, 40 gold rings, 36 calling birds, 30 French hens, 22 turtle doves, and 12 partridges cost in 1984, when the Christmas Price Index first became a thing?
I'm going to say it's going to cost you no more than $600.
All of that shit,
Because it's
$600?
1984. I'm going to say
Price
$600.
Index in 1984 was $12,623.10.
I'm only a little bit off.
Only a little bit.
I was accounting for inflation.
Of course not. What do you think it is in 2020?
$600 in 1900 money. Sorry?
What do you think it is in 2020?
I reckon it's going to cost you, just to follow COVID restrictions alone with getting 12 lords a leaping all in the same space.
You are
That's
completely
gonna cost
right.
you
The
an arm and a
2020
leg.
index does not include 9 ladies dancing, 10 lords a leaping, 11 pipers piping, nor 12 drummers drumming due to COVID-19 restrictions on live performances.
Yeah, so
The
so you can
2019,
get out, so
the 2019 price index for all those products was $38,993.59. Right, a
I reckon if you
huge
cut all out
increase.
those rubbish ones, I reckon it's going to go down to like $3,000 for just the birds and the rings.
Okay, Hamish, you're lowballing it all the way. 16,000 this year.
That's a lot for what am I getting for 16,000? I'm getting
You're getting 40 gold rings.
Oh, that's a lot of gold rings. In my head, it was only 5, but yeah,
40
you're getting 40.
40 gold rings. 42 swans. 42 swans.
What was the answer, Wilkie? What was the answer to the question, Wilkie?
That's the what question?
The answer to how much did it cost in 2020? It's 16,000?
$16,168.14.
Yeah, I'd like to change my answer to that because that makes a lot more sense. When now that I know there's 14 gold rings. 40.
40 gold rings.
40 gold rings.
The going rate for drummers and pipers is that of the Pennsylvania's Musicians Union. Also, the ballet dancers earn the salary of the Philadelphia Ballet, like a professional ballet troupe, and they probably earn quite a lot of money.
Because, your true love is getting these things for you. For your true love, money is no object.
That's true. Though, to be fair, you are only paying your maids the federal minimum wage. I love this list. I love that it's like a local Philadelphia nursery, the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden, Petco. We just go to Petco and ask them, hey, can I have 36 canaries? And they say, no, we don't stock them. Okay, how much is a canary? That's about $5. Ah, sick. Nice. $180 then, I guess, for 36 canaries. Is that right? 170, 180? Something like that.
Wait, okay, so Wilkie, I just scrolled down a little bit. Sorry to interject, but...
No, I'm done. Go.
So, the one that went and so on, I thought I'd look down a little bit. Tom Hughes, in a short story published in 1864, described a fictional game of forfeits involving the song. A cry for forfeits arose, so the party sat down round Mabel on benches brought out from under the table, and Mabel began. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge and a pear tree. And so on. Till the fifth day, which was, for this weird alternate universe, 12 days of Christmas. The fifth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 hares running, 4 ducks quacking, 3 fat hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge, and a pear tree. It's not even in a pear tree. Damn it. And then finally ended, and so on. Each day was taken up and repeated all round, and for every breakdown, except by little Maggie, who struggled with desperately earnest round eyes to follow the rest correctly, but with very comical results. The player who made the slip up was duly noted down by Mabel for a forfeit.
That's a very fun. That's we played an improv game like that, didn't we? It's like I went to the store and I bought that's what the game's called. Is I went to the store and I bought her, and you got to go around the circle. Big fan of Little Maggie. I feel like I'm Little Maggie
who struggled with desperately earnest round eyes. I mean, you do have very round eyes, Wilkie. Thank you.
Also, makes us think of us. Not fair to say us. Makes me think of a friend of the show, Alex. She's got desperately earnest eyes.
Makes me think of Alita Battle Angel.
Gosh, she does
Wilkie,
have very big eyes.
Alita Battle Angel. Yeah, Wilkie Battle Angel.
Thank you. She's a robot though, isn't she? So she could probably remember this stupid word game pretty easily.
Wilkie, I dare you later just to go up to Jade and be like, Jade, if I was Alita Battle Angel, would you still love me?
Would you still love me if I was a battle angel from the film Alita Battle Angel? Brilliant. Jimmy Buffett's done one. Go Jimmy Buffett. The video game StarCraft Brood War released a new map named The 12 Days of StarCraft. And the song was adopted with a new lyric. They won't tell me what it is! Tell me what the song was. Brood War. This is... Okay, I don't care, actually. I just realised I don't care. The Muppets and John Denver! You know John Denver?
Yeah, Muppets, we love them. Oh, well, okay, so... I feel like we just got very distracted because the 12 Days of Christmas is an odd song. It's obviously for people that have a lot more money than sense, because what am I going to do with 12 partridges? And pear trees make sense. I could eat a lot of pears. I don't like pears, but, I could use them for something. 12 partridges, I feel like that's giving me a problem.
Yeah.
Turtle doves, similar thing. French hens might get some eggs. Eggs is good. But there's a lot of French hens. That's like 30 French hens. That's a bit too many.
I can check.
Calling birds, that falls into the same problem as partridges and turtle doves. Get them out of here. 40 gold rings. Wilkie, I don't know about you, but what am I going to do with 40 gold rings? Propose to 40 different people?
You can wear 10 of them.
Wear 10 of them. You think I'm going to get one on each finger? I reckon, could I get 4 gold rings on each finger? I just wouldn't be able to use... My fingers would just be splayed out, though. I wouldn't be able to do anything with them.
Well, okay, what you do is you put 3 on each finger, and then you sell the other 10 to pay someone to do everything for you, because you can't move your hands anymore.
Okay, good idea.
Jeeves, I can't move my hands because of all the gold rings. Dictate an email.
You just have to, tap Siri or Google. Send a text to my mum. Sending a text to the police.
Okay, Siri. Okay, I guess the police are coming to arrest me now. Why was that your first thought?
I don't know. Well, geese are laying. Geese are scary. I don't want any number of geese in my house. So I'm sorry. If you've given me geese, you are not my true love. I'm sorry.
They're not even good for eating.
Swans,
they're too small. There's no meat on them.
Swans are swimming. Again, very scary birds. I don't want that many swans in my house. Go. 8 maids are milking. I mean, does that mean I've also got to get cows? Are they I'm going to guess they're milking cows.
I think what you've just got there is like people who live in your house, because like they go to their job at the milk farm during the day, but then like in the evening they just stay at your house.
Yeah, but I don't want. So that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to be 40 more people living in my house.
Yeah, 40 maids
at least, because
just
40
chilling.
maids. That's too many.
Okay, here's what you do. You assign each of the maids to look after 1 goose and 1 swan. That leaves you with 2 swans and 2 geese left over. And you, I don't know what you do with them. You kill them and you eat them.
Okay. Ladies dancing, lords are leaping. I think that would be rather funny, just to have people dancing and leaping around me all the time.
The drummers
Those
and pipers,
I will
the drummers,
accept.
pipers, lords and ladies, you can just break them off into groups of 1 piper. No,
okay.
One drummer, 1 or 2 pipers, 3 lords and 3 or 4 ladies, right?
And they could just be doing stuff. What I do is I'd have them stationed at places that I frequently visit. So I'd have some at my local supermarket. I'd have some stationed where I work. I'd have some stationed. I say that I work at home. In some world where I do have to commute somewhere, I'd have some there. I'd have some stationed at my house, and it'd be like Andy's coming in Toy Story, because most of the time they do nothing. But then as I'm arriving, they're like, "Oh, we get into action," and they'd have to start doing all of their stuff again,
drumming and piping and leaping and dancing.
Though I'd also like to be able to tell them to stop, because if the 12 drummers are drumming all the time, that's going to get old very quickly. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to get very angry at them.
Yeah. I was thinking, have you seen the Daft Punk film?
Do you mean Tron Legacy?
No. There's like a film, like the music videos to a lot of Daft Punk songs make up a film.
Okay.
And it's about a guy who like kidnaps aliens from other planets who are really good at music and makes them look like humans, and then he collects golden records. You know, you get a golden record if you like do well enough on a song. He collects all the golden records, and he's trying to like open the gates to hell or something by collecting 666 golden records. So what you do is you assemble a number of music groups out of your drummers, pipers, lords, and ladies, and then send them off to go earn money in the world, and maybe one of them gets really famous and you can like manage their band.
Okay, that sounds like a really good idea. And so for that reason alone, for the fact that I could become a band manager, I could live out my ultimate dream, I want to give 12 Days of Christmas a good.
It's a good song. You know, there's no
good song.
There's no 364 ways about it. It's a good song.
I'm trying to look at this. Sorry, there was a version underneath that seemed very odd on the Wikipedia list, but I think that's what we have to stop now. It's been a slightly chaotic episode from start to finish of Boy Review, but we hope everybody at home has enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a comment, a share on, if you're on a podcast service, tell your friends about it. If you're on YouTube, tell your friends about it. If you're on somewhere else, I don't know how else you'd get our podcast. If you're somehow having it beamed straight into your skull, tell your friends about it, and probably tell a doctor.
Very Cyberpunk to have it straight in your head. Hamish, our next episode is coming out on Christmas Adam.
Yes, Christmas Adam. So look forward to that one coming on the 23rd of November. 23rd of December.
It's okay, Hamish. We're in the home straight. Bring us home, Hamish. Bring us home.
Check us out on Twitch when we start doing more streaming. Are we going to stream later? Do you want to stream today, Wilkie?
I can stream today.
We could do a bit of stream after the record, and we'll be streaming. Do you want to stream on Wednesday too?
Am I free on Wednesday? That's the question.
I'm
free on Wednesday.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm free on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'll do a stream.
We'll put that up on our Instagram. Be sure to follow us at the Warthog Podcast. Or no, not the Warthog.
Nope. Hamish!
Damn it! I'm done. At Boy Review. Follow us at Boy Review.
Follow us at Boy Review on Instagram. If you're listening to this episode on the day that it releases, if that day is Wednesday, check that we are or are not streaming in the evening. Check us out on Twitch. We're trying to get like notifications and stuff sorted out on the screen so we can see when people follow us and when people mostly follows at this point. I think we can have subscribers yet. Hamish and I would both like to thank you very much for listening. As we bring... I'm not used to ending these. It feels weird. And that's the end of our show. It's goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
See you next time.
Bye.
Give Hamish some love. # Hamish support.